Yep. On the list of things I haven't done, this is another one. Thank you. There has been a committee, Steve, Knut, and myself. And I'm here to give some awards. And this year's award winner has written a thesis titled Outside of the Box, Narratives of Aromantic and Asexual Erotic Embodiment. The author writes that I found the PhD process painful at times. For much of my young adult life, I felt like a disembodied or floating head, utilizing my rational mental capacities for financial reward, doing several tasks in boxes, both conceptual boxes and physical boxes that resemble boxes. I undertook the endeavor to still my mind and free myself from boxes. Despite differences, this resonates, at least to me. This is an autoethnographic exploration of erotically embodied asexuality, proposing that asexuality can be a becoming and flourishing rather than being an essential state and a lack of sexuality. And I quote once again, the research does not aim to find the truth of asexuality. It aims to tell the story of a unique perspective of asexuality and describe this experience in a sensory, multi-layered way. Journals from 22 years back, literature and theory, pictures and poetry based on narratives from co-creators is part of this beautiful and bold thesis. And the author hopes that this story, belonging to me and my co-creators, if told repeatedly, will become part of common discourse. I couldn't agree more. Congratulations to a person who I was hoping would be in the room, who I'm now hoping is on the internet, but we're not sure because she's traveling. Landa Love. Are you there? Maybe not. But this, I'm happy to say, it's recorded. That's my favorite thing. So she can watch it anytime. And she's asked me to read an email to her thanks to a few people. I am so incredibly grateful for the love, encouragement, and inspiration within this community, without which I wouldn't have had the courage to do my PhD differently from the heart. It would have become an exercise in meeting requirements and being acceptable instead. I particularly thank Gail Leatherby and Julie Parsons for the guidance during my thesis, and Katrina and David for their embracing of my work since finishing. This year has been tough for me, and just tuning in online yesterday and seeing you all lifted my spirits and re-inspired me. I'm happy to connect with anyone who is working with an autoethnographic PhD to offer mentoring and support. And she will receive a voucher. The film award winner could perhaps be characterized as a jack of all trades. His music, films, and research has been an inspiration, and to me, serves as a great example of the fact that research and knowledge doesn't have to fit within book covers. In what I would consider a short titled A Letter to a Boyfriend, soothing pictures and close-ups of flowers and bumblebees go hand in hand with a song that touches upon pain, doubt, and hope. Not only is he a jack of all trades, it's not his first rodeo either. I think he won the award in 2023, and this year's film award goes to David Connors. Congratulations! Beautiful thing.
So, as Jamie mentioned, as a committee, we wanted to offer a special award this year, the first time to recognise collaboration in something that certainly for me and perhaps for some of you too, so it can feel like a solitary pursuit. Collaboration and connection is essential, I think, so many reasons. The award this year goes to a collective, a group that we think have been pioneering, introducing, developing and furthering autoethnography within their nation. In the support of other researchers, in the development of new ways of knowing, new knowledge across different disciplines, different institutions and different cities within the country. We first became aware of the group's work at this conference in 2021, which was both an online and in-person event. Several of them contributed a joint panel in an online form. We've seen their work at every conference since, with some members of the group coming in person and some presenting online. We've learned more about their work recently through their collaborative chapter titled Crystallizing Experiences, Shaping Pedagogies from Personal Journeys to an Autoethnographic Community in Japan. So I'm really pleased to offer this award to members of the Forum on Autoethnography and Poetic Inquiry. We have 3 members of the group here in person this year. We have other members online and some other members, I think, who've not been able to be with us at this moment. So I'm going to mention some names, but there will be some I'm sure I exclude. It's a collective award for the entire forum. And I'll mention the 9 names that I'm aware of at this point. So this is Tipi, Nozomi, and Yusuki, who are here in person, and then attending the conference this year online is Renan, Kiyoshi, Aya, Mihoko, Shihiro, and Naoka. Please come up front and
Thank you. Wow. Okay, dear autoethnographic friends, or if I may, dear community. The word community, it carries weight. It evokes a sense of togetherness, of shared purpose and collective strength. It speaks of solidarity and of belonging, of being part of something greater than the sum of its parts. Community is about the parts that make it and of the myriads of connections between these parts and of the strength these connections hold. Community is about resistance. It is about coming together. It is about believing in something bigger than ourselves. And if there ever was a time for community, I believe it is now. It is with profound respect, heartfelt gratitude, and sincere humility that I stand before you now. We reached that point in our program, the moment that brings me the privilege of announcing the recipient of the 2025 ICAE Lifetime Contribution in Autoethnography Award. This is the 6th time we present this award, which is given to recognize, honor, and pay tribute to individuals who have made significant contributions to the development and nurturing of the field of autoethnography and who have supported others in their work. And I believe I speak for many of us when I say that the ICAE is first and foremost a community. One whose impact and meaning extend beyond the individuals who comprise it and their personal achievements. In this light, it might even seem a bit paradoxical to present an award to a single individual. But while a community is not primarily defined by individual achievements, there are always those individuals who serve as important builders and nurturers, those who lay the groundwork for others to connect with one another and with the world. This year's winner is one of those individuals. Through her extraordinary capacity to connect people, to make community become and happen, she provides others with hope and inspiration. In times marked by conflict, indifference, and a fading sense of solidarity, connection and community are more important than ever. the world still holds quiet wonders and flickers of hope. In the stillness and solitude of Norway's mountain marshes, I am presence, just me and the landscape. One foot in front of the other, my feet sinking slightly into the soft, swampy ground. And then, there in the middle of nowhere, far from roads and settlement, someone has actually laid a wooden plank across the wettest parts of the marsh. A plank providing a bridge, allowing safe passage across the marsh. Out there in the wilderness, it moves me, and it gives me a deep sense of connection. Someone, unknown and unrewarded, placed it there so others, like me, could cross and connect with the rest of the world. Beyond this practicality, the plank protects the delicate ecosystem beneath it. Marshes are vital. They shelter life, they store carbon, and they regulate water. They matter, not just now, but for generations to come. Those who lay the planks are more than helpers. They are quiet community developers and preservers. And here is my point. Building connections and sustainable communities requires someone who is willing to use time and energy to lay down the plank for others without expecting personal recognition or reward. This year's winner is a true community builder. For more than 20 years, she has been working in autoethnography. Through a sustained series of engaging and accessible writings, she has generated and disseminated alternative narratives which enrich practical understanding and theoretical knowledge in sports and beyond. A key contribution of her autoethnographic work has been a diversification of forms for which autoethnography may be carried out and disseminated. Storytelling, poetry, live performance, songwriting, music, and filmmaking. Through YouTube, she has made her contributions accessible to all, breaking down the paywall of academic journals and books and demonstrating a radical democratization of research and scholarship. In 2018, this year's winner took over as a conference chair of what was then the British Conference of Autoethnography. Recognizing the need to move beyond the UK to embrace the concerns of an international community, she renamed the conference the International Conference of Autoethnography. She has advocated for and invested in running a hybrid conference which offers all the benefits of an in-person gathering, while retaining the possibility for those from far afield with a disability or ill health, of limited financial means, or with caring responsibilities to remain engaged with ICAE community. She has supervised numerous master and doctoral students, offering them dedicated guidance, encouragement, and support in making sense of their personal experiences and finding a path to transform and transcend these into positive action. She organizes and runs regular workshops, symposia, and retreats for students and academics from around the world, offering much needed breathing spaces, inspiration, and community. She has been nominated for the ICAE award several times, but out of respect for her close ties to the conference, she has always declined. And as this year's winner is a rather headstrong woman who holds this kind of tricky and fascinating combination of a sweet smile and a gentle voice fused with ultimate decisiveness and an iron will. It has been challenging to defy her. But nonetheless, this year, the rest of the committee, we felt that we could no longer ignore the voice of the people. And I believe I speak for all of us when I say this award comes from the entire autoethnographic community. This year's Lifetime Contribution Award goes to a lifelong contributor to autoethnography, a true torchbearer, a builder of bridges, and a provider of planks in the marsh. This year's award goes to Trude.
Thank you, everybody. I am slightly resistant, it's true. I'm sure there's somebody more worthy than me, but I really appreciate the sentiment and the thoughts. And so I've just a few things that I want to say. Carolyn Ellis talks about living the autoethnographic life. And I really felt that through Tony's presentation yesterday, that we pick up on the little things that often go unnoticed, exactly like you have just mentioned, the plank, the sensitive plants underneath that really need to be nurtured if we're going to sustain the ecosystem. And I love what and how and the things that have been said around the conference so far. But as I look back at the little things in my life that have enabled me to do what I'm doing and to be a force, if that's what I am, I'm really aware of my upbringing and how the community, my family, had confidence and belief in me. And in a world that's very masculine and run by men, I'm really glad I didn't have any brothers. Because it meant we three girls could get all the privileges that the boy would have had. And my father instilled in me that I had value, I didn't need to prove. And it instilled in me the type of confidence that isn't arrogance, it's just the door's closed. Well, let me just check it. Well, actually, the handle's turning. Oh, look, we can go through here. That type of a confidence that I recognize is missing from some people I meet, from some students I meet that have had a very different childhood experience. So part of the little things I noticed, Tony, is that. Alongside that, I think I've been fortunate to be brought up on some biblical stories. And I'm not talking about fundamental Christianity. I want to distance myself from that. But stories like the story of Esther, a woman, and her uncle Mordecai said when she got raised up and could have access to the king that nobody else could have, he said, maybe it's for this time that you've got this ability and these skills and these expertise. And I thought about that in my own life. Maybe it's for this time that I have got these skills and expertise and strengths. It's to do something with it. Other stories that have kind of stuck and I've stood on are that if something needs doing and you can do it, why wouldn't you? And when I look at each of you, wow, why wouldn't we want to all come together and build community and make a difference out there? I believe that we can make a difference. And it's much easier when we work together. Another sort of feeling or story that I grew up in, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. And so I tried to do this conference to the best of my ability, and I get crotchety sometimes. I'm too strict at other times. I'm nagging people when they overrun. I apologize. I just want everyone to have a really good experience and go away feeling filled up, connected and held. And I think that's the type of community that we have tried to build through this conference. But it's because I've been able to do that by what's gone on in my life. I've also had some amazing experiences through other things that I've done in my life. One of the nicest things about winning golf tournaments, and that was, often people say you've had several careers. I don't call them careers, it's just my life. So my first life was playing professional sport all over the world, and people value you when you can hit a ball. And when I look at the record books, I actually hit a ball really well. How useful is that? But what happens when you win, you get given the microphone. And I love that bit. For 4 days of the golf tournament, you've got the media writing about me, you've got the journalists writing about me, you've got everyone else writing about me. And on the final day, if I win, I get hold of the microphone. And I can say thank you to all those people that you talked about that they will not see when I'm on the golf course. And that was fun for me. That was wonderful that I got an opportunity to say that. those people that have sustained me exactly like you talked about on my journey. And I think in autoethnography and the work that we do in academia since I've been here, what I've needed are people that inspire me and people that collaborate with me. And when David and I first went to the International Congress of Qualitative Inquiry for the very first time, I'd read Norman Denzin's book, and he was a bit of a god. And I saw him across the room, and it's like, wow, well, he's just a man, but look what he's doing. And I was inspired, not by the fact that he put a conference on, but by the fact that he said, whosoever will may come. He wasn't drawing barriers. He wasn't keeping people out. In fact, people that disagreed with him, he'd invite them to be keynotes. How amazing is that? I was really inspired by that man. Say, using those experiences in my background, well, what can I do? What would my contribution be? How can I support the growth of others like he's supporting my growth? And when I met him, I said, thank you for writing that book. It helped me through my PhD, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without that handbook of qualitative inquiry and all those people online and in the room that wrote chapters in that book and have written chapters since that helped me on my journey. But I'm also surrounded by some really, really lovely people. And I'm just going to mention a few of them. The committee that put on this conference do masses of work in the background, and Tony's smiling there, he knows what it's like. Trude, you have just been an absolute rock. Jamie, you're so wise and you bring such a calming influence to our committee. You each bring something that's really important. And before them, Andrew Gillett, Tim Butcher, really important people that contributed to this being what it is today. I need to also thank Jessie. Jessie Epp, she's taken 2 days work off. Her work isn't autoethnography. That's not what she does. She's got an accountancy exam tomorrow and should be prepping for that. And she's here serving our community. Candice cadded for me when I was a professional on tour. And I remember one day saying, Candice, you're a bit slow today. And she said, well, I've just learned I'm pregnant. I went, oh, okay. You're allowed to be a bit slow. I have had such support for doing the work that I'm doing. I couldn't do it without the love and care support of others right across my life. And finally, in that support group, David, who I began sharing a room with, an office at the University of Bristol. And what he's brought to me and our collaboration is humility, elegance, sensitivity, and care. And I think sometimes I can rush away with a good idea, and him bringing humility, sensitivity, care, and an elegant way of working inspires me and sustains me. And anything that I am, it's because of all of these things. So what I would just like to say in finishing, because I'm sure you all wanted to go for lunch, what's your part in this? And this is a bit of what you did yesterday. What's your part of the contract? If it's enough for you just to get here, whether you're online or whether you're here, that is enough. Without you, without every single one of you tuning in online and being a part of this community, even at the last minute, Bethan, your presentation yesterday was wonderful. Your contribution here makes this conference. Without you, this would not work. We need you. I need you. Our community needs you. And more importantly, I think out there needs us. They need you. They need your stories and all the ways, places that you go back to. You take something, you plant a seed. It's really important. So Winston Churchill said, you know, it's not what I can get from my country, it's what I can do for my country. What can you do for your people? If you're overwhelmed with life, just being here, that's fantastic. Carry on doing that. But if you can offer more, then offer more. You know, don't be frightened or unconfident to say, maybe I can do something. Maybe I can help carry the plank to the water. Maybe I can do a little something, please. Because Norman Denzin wasn't here forever. I'm not going to be here forever. And the people that are running the community and the conference at the moment, they're not going to be here forever. We need other people to come over and run with the ball or take the baton on or breathe life into these things to take them on. And we can sustain it for so long. But the sooner we get those processes and that regeneration happening, the smoother the transference will be and the better we will be able to help and support the next generation of autoethnographers that aren't in the room yet, that haven't been birthed. So offer it, explore it, but just know that even if you're just here and that's overwhelmed for you, thank you, you're playing a part. And I really appreciate the sentiment. And so thank you all very much.